Hello everyone on YouTube. I have a secret message for Donald Trump. My name is Lorenz and the theme is how to make Mexico happy to pay for the wall. To understand the topic, I need to teach you that all wealth decays. Here you have a piece of bread, and if you baked a loaf of bread, after a while it would decay. And if you had a car, after 20 years, your car would look like this. And if you had a house, after 40 or 50 years of no maintenance, the house would fall apart like that. All wealth decays, and this is true of gold. If I gave you 1,000 pieces of gold, you would still need to buy a safe and insurance and put the gold in a safe place. All that is called warehousing costs. And if I came back to you after 30 years, some of that gold would have been used simply to protect the gold and keep it safe. So wealth consumes itself and it decays. Now, with that lesson, we should apply it to debts. A debt is a lender's asset. Therefore, his debts should decay. So let's give an example. Suppose I lent you $1,000 and you agreed to pay $2,000 back. And using this method, there would be the repayment schedule and a decay schedule. The repayment schedule involves you paying back $100 a month. Then after 20 months, it would be all paid off. At the same time, there would be a decay schedule where, let's say, the debt itself decays at $20 a month, so that after 100 months, the debt totally expires. Now here you can see, suppose you had a problem paying the debt itself would still decay. This is the opposite of what we have today involving usury, where the interest and the fees just spiral out of control, and you won't be able to pay off the debt, most likely, and you'll be forced into bankruptcy. Here with this method, the debt keeps decaying until it matches your ability to pay. And then once you've reached that point, your debt will go away. So you learned that wealth decays, that we should account for the decay of debts, and debts in the long run should self-expire. So which economy would work? One that sheds its debts, or one where the debts simply spiral out of control and skyrocket? Well, it's pretty self-evident. Now, where are we? In the Western world, we're loaded with debts. The debts require taxes to pay off. Then there's higher taxes. Then this produces a recession. Then there's austerity cuts that cut essential services, including things like border protections, border controls. This allows an invasion to come in, and in the long run, that means you're taken over and you're into a dark age. To simplify that death spiral, it's usury, austerity, open borders, and then a third world invasion in a dark age. And simply put, usury leads to a dark age. And usury is legitimized under capitalism, which ultimately means it goes into a dark age. That's counterintuitive to everything that we're taught, but it's right before our eyes. So if you want to make America great again, you need to free the country from bondage. So what should we do about the national debt? We can renegotiate it, we can repudiate it, or we can pay it off with a decaying dollar. So let's conceive of a new dollar, a separate series of dollars called the redbacks instead of the greenback. And the redback would decay in terms of what it can pay in taxes. So for example, this year the redback would pay $1 in taxes, next year it would pay 95 cents, then the year after that 90 cents, until the decaying dollar simply isn't going to pay off any taxes, so it expires. So if you want to pay off the national debt, you could produce 20 trillion of these decaying dollars, and as an example, let them decay at 1/4 cent per quarter. That means they decay 1 cent per year. After 100 years, the dollar expires, it also means that the whole national debt would go away on its own over the course of 100 years. Actually, you'd pay it off right away, but the residual dollar would decay over 100 years. And it would freeze the usury, it would freeze the interest costs, and that would open up $400 billion in interest payments every year. So this would move us towards a usury-free economy. Now, how would Mexico like to use this knowledge for their own problems? Mexico has a $400 billion national debt, and they pay $30 billion in annual interest charges. And if they could pay off their national debt, they would save $30 billion a year, which would be more than enough to pay for the wall, which would probably be less than $5 billion. I don't know. It's not that, can't be that much. And $30 billion a year, if you divide it by $8,000, which is the median wage, that would produce 4 million jobs in Mexico for Mexicans. And if you multiply it by 4, that's like 16 million people, for families. So the good idea is share this idea with Mexico. Let Mexico get out of its debt. They'll be happy to pay for the wall and employ 4 million people. And this is one of these new approaches and practical ideas that Trump may be looking for. He said he invited people with new voices and new visions into the fold. Well, here I am. So subscribe to the channel here, and I'll have a big announcement later on this month for everyone in the state of New York, so you'll want to hear about that.